अस्सलाम वालेकुम। हम गैसियस स्टेट डिस्कस कर रहे थे पिछले वीडियो में। जो हमने 2-3 प्रॉपर्टीज़ इसकी डिस्कस की हैं गैसियस स्टेट। सो गैस इज़ द अनदर स्टेट ऑफ मैटर, third state of matter. It's a form of matter which has maximum fluidity जो हमने पढ़ा था. It has maximum fluidity. Gas has maximum fluidity. It is highly compressible. It's highly compressible and has neither definite shape nor definite volume. Definite shape nor definite volume. This is the definition of gas. Nor definite volume. So gas is the form of matter which has maximum fluidity, is highly compressible and has neither definite shape nor definite volume. Some important जो properties हमने कल डिस्कस किए थे कल के वीडियो में, उसमें हमने पढ़ा था gases do not have definite यानी जो confirmed हैं, confirmed definite यानी conclusive जो shape हैं उनकी shape नहीं होती, specific shape नहीं होती हैं, nor definite volume. They take the shape of the container. They take the shape of the container in which they are placed. ठीक, ये हमने पढ़ा था. और जो अलग दूसरी प्रॉपर्टी हमने कल हमने डिस्कस की थी वो ये है कि gases are what is called gases are highly compressible. इसके लिए हमने एक्टिविटी भी की थी, यानी हमने थ्री सिरिंजेस लिए थे. फिर हमने एक में हम मतलब ऐसे ही रखा था, ठीक, यानी इसमें गैस था, ठीक, दूसरे में लिक्विड, तीसरे में हमने सैंड डाला था. फिर हमने उसको पिस्टन लगा के प्रेस किया. जो पिस्टन वाला था, जो आयर वाला था, वो कंप्रेस हो गया. इट मीन्स दैट गैस आर कंप्रेस, हाईली कंप्रेसिबल. लिक्विड वाला जो स्लाइटली कंप्रेस हुआ, ऑलमोस्ट इनकम्प्रेसिबल. और जो सैंड वाला था वो कंप्रेस नहीं हुआ था. इट मीन्स दैट सॉलिड्स आर सॉलिड्स इनकम्प्रेसिबल. सॉलिड्स कैन नॉट बी कंप्रेसिबल. ये हमने पढ़ा था. जो कल की जो और एक प्रॉपर्टी हमने डिस्कस की थी about these gases, they have maximum fluidity and they are least rigid, जो हमने पढ़ा था. More rigid is solids are more rigid than liquids, and liquids are more rigid than than gases. So gases, as far as gases are concerned, they are least rigid and they show maximum fluidity. This is all because of they have the particles of gases have maximum freedom of motion. They move in different velocities in all possible directions. These are the properties which we have discussed in yesterday's videos. So today we will discuss some more important properties of gases. Number first is gases have low density. Gases have low density. By density we mean that the ratio of mass of the density divided by its volume. Mass of substance divided by its volume. Mass of substance divided by volume of substance. हाँ, दिस इज कॉल्ड डेंसिटी. जो मास का जो ऐसा यूनिट है, इसका डेंसिटी का मास का किलोग्राम, वॉल्यूम का पर मीटर क्यूब. सो किलोग्राम पर मीटर क्यूब ऐसा यूनिट ऑफ डेंसिटी. और इट इज़ एक्सप्रेस यूजुअली एक्सप्रेस इन किलोग्राम, ग्राम per mole liter per milliliter milliliter per 3 per milliliter. But ऐसा unit is kilogram per meter cube. This is the unit of density. जब हम कंपेयर करते हैं solids and liquids and gases, solid, liquid and gases have lowest density. gases have lowest density. This is all because of the जो the interparticle distance है gases की वो बहुत ज़्यादा होती हैं, देयर बाय जो इंटरमार्टिकल फोर्सेस होते हैं, इंटरपार्टिकल फोर्स होते हैं वो वीकर होते हैं, ठीक. एज अ रिजल्ट particles are widely separated, gas particles are widely separated, and hence volume of given mass of the gas is more large. जब वॉल्यूम ज़्यादा होगा डेंसिटी कम होगी, ठीक. That's why gases have a low density. This is all about density of gases. Solids have more density. Solids are denser than liquids. Gases have least density. Liquids have density intermediate between that of solids and gases. Gases have lowest density. Solids have highest density, greater density. सेकंड जो आज की जो डेफिनेशन जो प्रॉपर्टी दैट इज काइनेटिक एनर्जी of the particles in the gaseous state is high. means जो particles हैं, particles gas हैं, they move with greater velocities. इसके लिए रीज़न यही है large interparticle distance between the gaseous particles and thereby weak force of attraction. Due to this larger interparticle distances and weak interparticle forces, the particles of the gas they can move freely. And thus have large जो है motion है, translation होगा. Translation यानी they move like this, and move in straight lines, or rotational motion they spin like this, and vibrational they vibrate. These translational motion these particles have thus they have large translational motion, rotational and vibrational motion. Due to the large translation motion, their kinetic energy is quite high. Kinetic energy is quite high. It can be further increased. इसको भी हम increase भी कर सकते हैं kinetic energy of the particles of the gases by increasing the temperature. By increasing temperature, the particles of the gas move with greater velocities. So second property is the kinetic energy of the particles in the gaseous state is high. Next जो property है gases या और gases particles of gases exert pressure. What do we mean by this? Gases exert pressure. Since जो हमने पढ़ा था जो particles of the gas है, they have greater freedom of motion. Particles of gas, they have greater freedom of motion. यानी the particles of gas they are moving continuously in different directions with different velocities. They have greater kinetic energy. They move with greater speeds, greater velocities. Due to this random motion, they move randomly in all possible directions like this. Due to this random motion, the particles of the gas, these are the particles of gas, they collide with each other. They continuously collide with each other, as well as with the walls of the container in which they are placed. With the walls of the container like this, they strike the walls of the container. They strike with each other and with the walls of the container. Due to these continuous collisions, the particles of the gas exert force. While colliding. They exert force on the walls of the container. This force, the force per unit area exerted by particles of the gas on the walls, on the walls. Force per unit area exerted by particles of the gas on the walls of the container is called pressure. Is called pressure of the gas. Example ही अगर हम लेंगे balloon, when we suppose this is the balloon, when we take balloon, when we blow air into this balloon, the air particles, simply these air particles collide with each other and with the walls of this balloon, they strike with force, and they exert force on the walls of the balloon. This is why this air which we blow into this balloon, and this air pressure causes this balloon to inflate. Actually, these particles strike with the walls of the vessel, and as a result, they inflate. It becomes bigger in size. This is actually the cause of this is actually the pressure of the gases. These gas particles continue to strike with the walls of the balloon. So this is about pressure. So gases exert pressure. The next जो property है, important property, that is about diffusion. जो हमने पढ़ा था, solids do not show the property of diffusion. या अगर शो करती भी हैं वो स्लो होती है. Liquids diffuse, but as far as gases are concerned, they diffuse very rapidly. Gases diffuse very rapidly. They show diffusion and very rapidly. Gases diffuse very rapidly. What do you mean by diffusion? The spreading out of gas. जब गैस सेपरेट होता है, फिर इंटरमिक्स होते हैं with the substances, with the gases of with other gases, mix होते हैं. Intermixing of the particles of the gases, that's called a diffusion. यानी एक गैस दूसरी गैस से जब मिक्स होता है, इसको बोलते हैं diffusion. The separating out, एक तो हो गया separating out and mixing of a substance with another substance due to the motion of its particles is called diffusion. And intermixing of the gases is called diffusion. Intermixing of the gases is called diffusion. So actually why they show greater diffusion, yani why gases diffuse rapidly. The reason is again the interparticle distances. Since interparticle distances of gases is quite large, and interparticle forces of attraction is weak. They are weak. The particles of gas are continuously moving. In different directions with different velocities. As a result of this random motion, the particles of one gas can readily move into the spaces, these spaces between the particles of other gases. They readily move into the spaces of the particles of other gases. This intermixing of gases is called diffusion. Thus gases diffuse very rapidly. The reason is large interparticle distances and weak interparticle forces. जो बाकी जो substance हैं, particles of the substance, they move and fill these spaces. They readily move into these spaces, and as a result, these gases intermix. This intermixing of gases is called diffusion. So जो particles of gases, they are widely separated. जो बाकी जो substance हैं, gas particles हैं, वो इनके जो गैप में जाते हैं. ठीक इस तरह से मिक्स होते हैं. मिक्स होते हैं जल्द मिक्स होते हैं. यही वजह है gases जो हैं they diffuse very rapidly as compared to liquids and solids. इसके लिए जो एक लॉ है, that is called Graham's law of diffusion. Graham's ग्राहम्स लॉ ऑफ डिफ्यूजन, वो स्टेट व्हाट इट सेज दैट जो रेट ऑफ डिफ्यूजन है, रेट ऑफ डिफ्यूजन of gas is inversely proportional to the square root of the density of the gas। यानी जो डेंसर होते हैं, जो लेस डेंसर होते हैं, लेस डेंसर वो डिफ्यूज जल्दी होते हैं। जो मोर डेंसर यानी हैवियर होती हैं, जो लाइटर होती हैं, जो लाइटर गैस होते हैं यानी जिनकी डेंसिटी कम होती है वो ज़्यादा जल्द उनकी जो डिफ्यूजन होती है उसकी जो डिफ्यूजन ज़्यादा होती है। जो हैवियर गैस होती हैं यानी उनकी जो जिनकी डेंसिटी ज़्यादा होती हैं वो उनको जो वो डिफ्यूज़ वो उनको डिफ्यूजन है वो इसको टाइम लगता है। ठीक, यानी जो डिफ्यूजन है वो लाइटर gases diffuse more rapidly than heavier gases। this is about the Graham's law of diffusion। ठीक, these are some important properties of gaseous state, and that's all। Thanks।